So now that my paint's dry, it didn't take long since this is acrylic. And this paint down here that had the chalk in it, it dried really, really fast. I lost some of my hue up here. The value's about right. So the good thing to do if you've got the hue and value right is to glaze a little bit. And the trick to glazing, I'm also going to glaze this down just a hair because I went almost totally white in a few places. So I want to push that back down a little bit, just give a little bit more quality to the surface. Push the values down a little bit and then go back in with some chalk and some titanium white and just hit the tops of these, and it should look like just that frothy water. Should look pretty good. What you don't want to do when you're glazing is push the color down in value too fast. If you do that, the color will get sort of oversaturated and have a kind of overripe look that I don't like. So you have to be very careful, glaze very slowly. I'm working in acrylic so I can let it dry. Put in another wash, let that dry, and just build it up slowly. And the key is to step back frequently and assess how this color is shifting. If the value starts to shift, then you've gone too far. And then later, I'm going to try oiling up the canvas with some medium. Now, acrylic medium looks white when you pour it out. It looks sort of milky, and that's somewhat akin to liquid chalk. So I'll have to put it on really thin so that it doesn't affect my values too badly, and then I can paint into it. And because I want to get more detail over here. It's kind of this is sort of hogging up all the attention at this moment. Here I just kind of swoops up here and stops. So I want to carry that over, have a little bit of movement, have some branches come and pull this back in so your eye swirls around this canvas in a very controlled fashion. I also have some dark spots here, and I lost some of my warm spots, so I want to get rid of some of the dark areas because it sort of makes a line across the bottom. I like this color right here. I might restate a few of those just to break that up. If you have one of anything, you've got a dot. If it's elongated, you have a line. If you have two of them, you've got two lines. But if you have three shapes, you start to have a tone. Now before I start glazing, I want to make an assessment of the values through this area, so I can monitor my values shift. 5, 6, so it shifts from 4 up to a 5. A little bit too much of a shift, so if I can tone that down, I'll probably glaze a little bit more up here and try to make this pretty much a 5. Now this area is pretty absorbent because it has a lot of chalk in it, I'm assuming. I've never actually done this. So I'm going to put some water on there, hope the color doesn't soak in too bad. It looks like it's not soaking in too bad. That's good. Now I was going to glaze this on the floor, but I just decided I probably could get as much texture with it standing up like this. So I thought, why bother with that? So just knock that color down a little bit. Now you can see where it's starting to, you can see some of the brush strokes in there. And if it persists in doing that too much, you can put a little zinc white into it. A very, very small amount of zinc white. Otherwise it'll go chalky, obviously, and start being scumble. Which is there. That's probably good. Now I need to step back really, really bad here because I may be overdoing this a little bit. And I won't know until I step back. It's not too bad, but I did overdo it just a hair. Now when you do this, it'll leave a residue of pigment, but take the majority of it off. As you can see, you can get some really nice texture this way, which I love. I love texture. Now this paint is flattened out somewhat, and that's strange. There are some additives I might try to put into this acrylic from gold, and I've never tried them really, that will keep that dimensionality. I'll tone that down a little bit. So yeah, I want to do that about a 5. So yeah, it's not too far off actually. Just a little bit too gray. This is anthraquinone blue. It's kind of a grayish blue, similar to ultramarine blue. Now you can move too fast and get that too dark. That patch right there is a 5, so that's good. That's a 5 too, amazingly enough. So that's looking good. Now, I was glazing with blue, so obviously I lost some of my warmth, so I'll probably go back in and restate some things and try to work in a little more of this moss and some of this red color. Maybe just a little bit of orange where that moss might be hitting or picking up some light. Okay, I mixed up a little titanium white on here, just straight, and I just